This right here is the Jackery 1500 Ultra. It's one of Jackery's newest portable power stations in the 1500 watt range. And what's really nice about this one is it's basically their most durable power station out. Probably the most durable power station out of anywhere. This is completely waterproof. It's completely dust proof. And so this is going to be really good to have for outdoor usage. It's got some really cool features. So I want to just give kind of a full breakdown of some of the features, the output that it has, what it can power, and then I'll just give my overall thoughts and opinion at the end. So let's get in the video.
All right, so before I get into the specs, I just want to show around the power station itself. So like I said earlier, this power station is supposed to be super durable and weather safe. So as you can see, all the outlets and output and things all have covers on them. And when you close them up, it's supposed to help it be completely waterproof, weatherproof for dust and things like that. And as you can see, it doesn't even have vents on the side like a lot of other power stations have. There's no vents. You got the back plate right here. You got the handle on the top. But everything's pretty much sealed and closed. So that way it protects it from the elements, from rain and things like that. And I think that is a really cool innovation that Jackery's making. You know, when we want a portable power station for camping and things like that, this is a great option because it's actually weather safe. You know, unlike a lot of other ones where they're kind of water resistant, but they're not really weatherproof. And because these ones all have covers on them, you know, this one can actually handle the outside elements. And if you turn it over on the bottom right here, you can see that the vent is actually on the bottom. So this is actually how it stays cool, by putting the vents on the bottom, and that allows there to still be airflow, but it protects it, you know, as the water and everything's going to fall off the power station. It's not going to really get into the vents like this, and you can take this cover off. You know, there's those two screws right there, and you can take it off and everything to clean it out every once in a while if you want to. But I think that is cool that they put the vents actually on the bottom instead of the sides. Now, going along some of the specs of this power station, this is a 1536 watt battery capacity power station. It is an LFP or lithium iron phosphate battery, which is what Jackery always uses in their power stations, at least their latest versions, which is nice because, you know, they're very reliable and safe, and they should be able to last a really long time. But now going over some of the outputs, as you can see right here, you do have two USB-Cs. One of them is a 30 watt, the other one's a 100 watt. And then you do have an 18 watt USB-A. And I do like that there's more USB-Cs than USB-As just because everything's pretty much going to USB-C now. It's a lot faster to charge, and it is nice to have that for charging your phone and things like that. And then going down here, we do have the 3 AC outputs as well, like the other Jackery power stations or a lot of the other ones like the 1000 version 2. And with that, as you can see on the cover, we get 1800 watts of continuous output, and it can actually surge or peak up to 3600 watts. And with it being a 1500 watt battery capacity power station, you know, with that surge and AC continuous output, you're going to be able to power a lot of different things. You know, you're going to be able to power your refrigerator for 10 plus hours, you know, portable cooking devices and things like that. You're going to be able to power basically like 99% of the items in your house. And you're going to have that peak power, you know, if you need to initially start something like a refrigerator and stuff like that, a compressor, something that needs a lot of power at the beginning, because it has that high peak, it's going to be able to handle that, which is pretty awesome, or a lot of different things at least. But then going over here to this section, we do have our inputs. So we have our DC inputs, we have our solar input, and then we have our AC input. And what I like about this is it does have two different ports for solar panels, so you can put in two different solar panels into this power station, which is nice. A lot of power stations in the 1000 watt range only have one solar port, and so you have to get an adapter if you want to put two different solar panels. But this one has two slots, which is super nice, and it does have 800 watts of solar input, and so you're going to be able to charge it up in about 2.5 hours with just solar panels if you have, you know, 800 watts of input, which is really nice. You know, 2.5 hours is really fast with the sun. I know there are 1000 watt power stations out there that have up to 1000 watts of solar input, but I do feel like 800 watts of solar input is honestly enough. And with the other cool factors of this power station, you know, how durable it is, I think 800 is enough to be able to charge it in 2.5 hours. And if you do charge it with an outlet with your AC power, it's going to take about 1.5 hours to charge it. So 2.5 hours of solar and then 1.5 with regular AC charging, which is fairly fast, you know, for a 1500 watt power station. But then above that, up here, you also have your 12 volt car charger right here. And so if you have something that uses the car outlet, you can use that. If you do want to turn on the AC power, you just click this button right here. Once the light's on, then you'll see it show up on the screen that the AC power is on, and then you can use all the outlets and the DC power as well, you know, once that is on. And I do really just like this design, how all the outlets and inputs are on the front, just because a lot of other power stations out there have the outputs on the front and then the inputs on the back. And I do like that it's all on the front. It just makes it a lot easier. And it's just simpler when you're trying to charge something and charge the power station at the same time. And here's just a close look at the screen. As you can see your battery level percentage, you can see your output and your input, and everything adjusts. Once you plug something in, it'll all adjust to show, you know, how much battery is left on the power station. But now I actually just wanted to run a test for you guys. I want to see if this can actually get up to the 1800 watts of a continuous output. Right here I have this water kettle, which uses quite a bit of power. I think it uses about 1500 watts. So it's going to be pretty close to 1800 watts. So it'll be a good test here. But as you can see, the AC power is turned on. I have it plugged in here. And now let me turn on the kettle. It's at 0. We'll turn it on right here. Boom. And as you can see, the
And
red
as
light
you can
immediately turned
see,
on, and now
it's
we're
running
at
about
about
1500 watts right
1500
now.
watts
We'll wait
of
about 30
continuous
seconds so
output.
you can see how
And
long this can
I'll just
power
wait
it.
a second so you guys can see it. So like I said, this has
Gonna heat the
1800 watts
water
of
up.
continuous. It shouldn't have a problem running this.
And
It does actually
there we go. It's
have
able to run it continuously.
2000
So
watts of
this does have the
continuous up
continuous
to
of
15
1800.
minutes.
So as you can
And
see,
so if you
it's
have
running
something
this
that you
no
want to
problem at
run
all.
for 15
Right
minutes,
now, I
it
can run it
actually
for
can
about an
output up to
hour
2000
because
watts. I
it's
forgot
close
to
to
mention
the
that earlier.
1800 watts.
But right
It's
now,
close
as you
to
can
the
see, it has no
1500
problem
watts
running this
of
thing. Super easy to run
internal
it
battery
continuously.
capacity.
And it can
But as you
peak
can see,
up
it's
to
able to run it no problem at all.
3600 watts, but that's only for 5 seconds. But as you can see, it has no problem running this kettle at 1500 watts continuously, and it's able to run it for about 1.1 hours, it says. So that is cool to see. It should have no problem handling, the 1800 watts of continuous. And going along with that, I just wanted to show you guys that you can use the DC power as well at the same time. So right here, I do have a Type-C charger being charged into this phone right here. So as you can see, it's at 90% battery. It's charging. And now we're using a little bit more output, basically exactly 1500 watts. And as you can see, the phone's being charged and the kettle's being run at the same time. So you can run, as long as it's under that 1800 watts continuous, it's going to be able to run both at the same time. And I did actually test this as well with water on it. So in this video right here, I'm doing this voiceover right now, but I did pour water over the top of this. You do want to make sure that the caps and things, the covers are closed. If this was out in the rain all night, because I just poured water on it, they're actually open a little bit. But the water just came right off of it. And yeah, it's pretty awesome to see. You can turn it on after. I was able to turn it on and use it after, and no problem at all. Nothing happened to it when I poured the water on top of it. So pretty cool to see, that it is water resistant, waterproof. I know this isn't a great test, but at least you could see a little bit that it's able to handle water. And going along with that, something else cool about this power station is that it's also level 9 seismic shockproof. And so you can drop this thing. You don't really have to worry about dropping this thing. As you can see right here, I'm dropping it, no problem at all. And it kind of absorbs the impact. It has kind of bounce on the bottom. And as you can see, it turns on, and you don't really have to fear about dropping it because of how durable it is, which is pretty cool.
All right, so I hope that can help you guys see some of the features of this power station. Overall, I really like what Jackery is doing with this. Being able to be completely weatherproof. I feel like a lot of power stations, in the 1000 watt range, they're supposed to be portable. So we want to be able to take them with you we want to be able to take them with us on the go for camping and stuff like that. And this is the best one on the market, in my opinion, for camping, just because of how durable it is. How I like how all these are covered, and to be completely waterproof and weatherproof is pretty amazing. So if you guys are looking for, a power station that has enough power to power like 99% of the items in your house, this one's going to be able to power your refrigerator for like 10 plus hours, TV, stuff like that, cooking devices, but still portable enough to where you can take it with you on the go. This is an awesome option. Like I said, it does have the handle. It's pretty lightweight as well. It only weighs about 25 pounds. And so it's going to be really easy to take it with you on the go. If you guys are looking for a power station like that, definitely recommend checking this out. Great option in my opinion.